8 decades after its founding, the United Nations remains a symbol of hope, cooperation, and collective responsibility. Here in Nigeria, that spirit was on full display as diplomats, students, and development partners gathered at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to commemorate the UN's 80th anniversary. A diplomatic correspondent, Amma Makas, reports on the call to renew multilateralism and build a shared future.
At the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja, the blue flag of the United Nations flew proudly, a reminder of 80 years of global cooperation and commitment to peace, human rights, and sustainable development. The event, themed Building Our Future Together, brought together diplomats, government officials, and young people to reflect on the UN's journey and the promise of the years ahead. Mr. Muhammad Malik Fall, the United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, highlighted Nigeria's pivotal role in the UN system, from peacekeeping and diplomacy to public health and innovation.
The world see in Nigeria what Africa can be: a land of brilliance and a land of resilience. The UN is proud to work this journey with Nigeria. Together, we have defeated poliomyelitis. Together, we have fought Ebola and COVID-19. Together, we have championed education, we have championed gender equalities and climate action. Together, we have affirmed that no one should be left behind. As we build our shared future, may we remember the UN remain a hope for those who have no other hope, the bridge between despair and possibility. And as we look to the next 80 years, let us remember the words of the former Secretary General, Dag Hammarskjöld. The UN was not created to take us to heaven, but to deliver us from hell.
Speaking as guest of honor, Ambassador Dunoma Omar, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, represented by Ambassador Wahab Akande, the Chief of Protocol at the Ministry, described the commemoration as a moment of truth, urging the UN to evolve in step with the changing world. He restated Nigeria's demand for equitable representation at the United Nations Security Council.
When the UN was founded, we were a colony of 20 million people, absent from the table where decisions about our fate were taken. Today, we are a sovereign nation of well over 200 million, projected to be the third most populous country in the world, with one of the youngest and most dynamic populations on Earth by 2025. A stabilizing force in regional security, a consistent partner in global peacekeeping. Our case for permanent seat at the Security Council is a demand for fairness, for continental equitable representation, and for reform that project credibility to the very institution upon which the hope of multilateralism rests.
The Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Egosa Osagie, noted that the Pact for the Future represents an African vision of shared progress and inclusion.
We have a pact for the future. That was an African clamor, just as the clamor for the new international economic order was in the 70s. Africa wants a new United Nations because Africa is stronger with multilateralism. It is the power of the weak. A rules-based system has to be the most predictable. It is the one that offers protection to those that would otherwise be most vulnerable. It is the one that says we can have global challenges, but we must get together to solve them. And poverty is one of them. Now, I think that Africa deserves a strong acknowledgement in that global architecture.
As the United Nations turns 80, This moment is not just about looking back, but looking within to ask how the world's most diverse family of nations can build a future that truly includes everyone, because the choices we make today will define the next 80 years. From the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Amma Marcus, ADBN News.